Welcome back to The Explainer. I am so pumped you're here today because we are going on an absolutely epic tour. I want you to literally imagine shrinking down, way down, into the microscopic world that is operating inside your own body right at this very second. We are diving into the master story of molecular biology, and let me tell you, it is endlessly fascinating.
So what if your body wasn't just, a collection of abstract biological cells, but rather billions of highly advanced, bustling smart cities? Just think about that for a second. This completely flips how we think about biology. It's not just some dry textbook subject. It is a sprawling metropolis of architecture, communication, and heavy industry happening right under your skin.
Okay, let's dive into this. Inside every single cell of your body exists a giant, highly organized city. Literally every single function required for you to live, to breathe, to think, it's all being executed by microscopic workers and factories in just absolute perfect harmony. It's mind-blowing.
Which brings us to Section 1, the Library of Life, where the master blueprint resides. So we've stepped right into the center of the cell, the nucleus, to find it. Inside this highly secure central library is your DNA. It's the master recipe book. It holds the ultimate instructions for how your cells divide, how your tissues repair, and how you grow. And get this, it's all written in a super simple alphabet of just 4 letters, A, T, G, and C. That's it. This 4-letter code determines everything from your eye color to your height. These letters group together to form genes, which are essentially specific step-by-step instruction manuals for building proteins. But here's the catch. You can't just take the original master blueprint out of the library, right? So what happens when a cell needs to divide and give a new city its own blueprint?
Well, that brings us to the copying factory. Before a cell divides, it has to physically copy all of its DNA. This is absolutely crucial for healing from something as simple as a paper cut. I want you to imagine a massive industrial factory where a molecular machine called helicase acts as a giant zipper opener, physically splitting the DNA apart. Then DNA polymerase jumps in. It's the ultimate copying machine, duplicating the information, dealing with both the continuous leading strand and the fragmented lagging strand, which are made of these things called Okazaki fragments. Finally, ligase swoops in, acting as the glue, joining all those broken pieces together. This incredibly dynamic machinery ensures every single new daughter cell gets a perfect, complete instruction manual without missing a beat.
Moving right along to Section 2, the protein factories, transcribing and translating life.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the process works. Because that original DNA cannot leave the secure library of the nucleus, a molecular machine called RNA polymerase steps up and makes a temporary photocopy called mRNA. Next, the cell carefully edits this document. It cuts out the junk, known as introns, and adds a 5' protective cap and a poly A tail so the message isn't destroyed in transit. Finally, this official protected message reaches the ribosomes. Think of these as giant automated factories. They read the mRNA while tRNA molecules act like tiny delivery trucks, bringing in specific amino acids to build the actual protein chains. It is a stunningly perfect assembly line that creates the structural building blocks of your entire body.
Now, Section 3, inside the cellular city, power, packaging, and transport.
Let's zoom out a bit and look at the broader city directory. Just like any major metropolis, tasks have to be delegated to keep everything running smoothly. You've got the nucleus commanding the whole operation, while the mitochondria act as the power plants, burning fuel to keep the lights on. Meanwhile, the Golgi body is your packaging center, boxing up goods for the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER, which acts as a vast transport highway network to ship those goods exactly where they need to go. And then lysosomes act as the recycling units, constantly clearing the streets of waste. It really is a fully functioning, self-sustaining smart city.
And to power all of this, the city has a sprawling energy economy. It takes the glucose from the food you eat and breaks it down, through glycolysis, sending pyruvate into the TCA cycle, and finally through the electron transport chain to generate ATP. ATP is the ultimate cellular currency. It pays for your energy to walk, talk, and think. And to coordinate all these moving parts, these cities literally have their own internet. No, they don't use Wi-Fi. Instead, they use a high-speed cellular network of molecular emails. Things like hormones, GPCRs, RTKs, CAMP, and calcium ions to instantly communicate across the network, ensuring every single district is perfectly synced up.
Next up, Section 4, cellular security and defense, protecting the metropolis.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that any wealthy, highly functioning city is going to attract invaders. To defend themselves against microscopic viral threats, even simple bacteria developed an ingenious system called CRISPR-Cas9. The guide RNA identifies invading DNA by quite literally carrying around a molecular mugshot of the intruder. The very second that specific virus shows up, Cas9 acts as molecular scissors, cutting and completely destroying the target. It is a built-in, microscopic security guard.
And in your own body, your defense system is an entire highly trained military. You've got macrophages acting as frontline soldiers, just swallowing up enemies, while antibodies function as precision-guided missiles locking onto specific targets. Then you have T cells. These are the specialized hit squads that destroy infected cells, and they know exactly who to attack because specialized MHC molecules display enemy identification cards, ensuring your biological nation is always protected, ready to neutralize a threat before you even feel a sniffle.
But things can go wrong. Section 5. When cellular laws collapse. The origin of cancer.
What happens when the threat comes from within? Normally, every cell obeys strict city rules. And a huge reason for that is a protein called P53. This is the cellular quality control officer. Think of P53 as a vital, no-nonsense patrolman whose entire job is to maintain law and order, stopping any uncontrollable cell division dead in its tracks.
So, the crucial point is this. Normal cells obey the rules thanks to functioning tumor suppressor genes, like our P53 officer. But when mutations damage those law enforcement genes, the cells become totally lawless. They begin dividing uncontrollably. Cancer isn't just a disease, it is the fundamental collapse of the smart city's legal system. It's exactly what happens when cellular law and order entirely breaks down.
Which leads us to our final area, Section 6. Biology meets computers, the bioinformatics revolution.
Understanding all of these incredibly complex mechanisms, from replication to defense to disease, requires immense effort from the outside world. Modern biology generates such staggering, massive amounts of data that human brains alone just cannot process it. We need computers. Bioinformatics acts essentially as a Google search for biology, using highly advanced sequencing software to pinpoint the exact genes and proteins responsible for life. This is a real game changer, helping us engineer new cures for the diseases we just talked about.
It all comes down to one really powerful realization. Every heartbeat, every memory, every immune response, every inherited trait, and every disease ultimately originates from molecular events. It's incredible, right? Molecular biology connects physics, medicine, and evolution into one giant story of life. The deeper we understand this molecular world, the deeper we understand life itself.
So, I'll leave you with this. If the microscopic cells inside your body right now are this beautifully organized, this complex, and this efficient, what other incredible molecular secrets are just waiting to be uncovered? Thank you so much for joining me on this tour through the cellular smart city. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.